Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 298. We have a wonderful guest for you today, so make sure you click to subscribe right now and ensure you never miss a journey. I post 1 to 2 episodes each week, and each guest has a fascinating story to tell. Today we have Mark Butler, the founder of the accounting startup Let's Do the Books, as well as the bookkeeper, CFO, and confidante to the top online entrepreneurs. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Patience. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My audience are excited to hear your story, but just start by telling us one thing we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
One thing you're going to learn today is how having high awareness of your finances can help you grow your business.
Can't wait to hear about that. But let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my audience a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own business?
You know, I started my first, I really became self-employed in about 2008. And before that, I had a sales job. So I was a salesperson and a sales manager and a sales trainer for about 4 years before I started my first online business and became self-employed.
What a journey. Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? I do this because when I had my own businesses in the early years of having my own businesses, I had no idea about my money. I had no idea about the finances, and it was stressful. And then I would find myself in debt sometimes. And I just wanted to feel more confident. So I ended up getting a job with a personal budgeting software company. And that's where I learned to manage my own finances. And I realized that I could take that software and that philosophy and help other small business owners with it. So I do what I do because I like the lifestyle it gives me. I enjoy the work itself, and it gives me an opportunity to help other people worry less about their money and just create more freedom and space in their business.
Let's put him aside. How do you know you are successful?
How do I know I'm successful?
Yes.
I think success for me is really a state of mind. It's knowing that I have a lot of autonomy and a lot of control over how I spend my days. I have the ability to decide what I'm going to sell and how I'm going to sell it and what I'm going to charge. And for me, those are the true measures of success. It's my ability to do the things that I want to do and to not have to do the things that I'm not excited about.
In this pandemic, how have your business pivoted?
You know, fortunately for me, I've been in a very lucky position that all of my clients, all of the people that I work with have online businesses. And so the pandemic actually, because it kept people home and they were doing a lot of shopping at home and personal development at home, my clients' businesses mostly grew through the pandemic. So my business didn't have to pivot. Very fortunate position to be in for me.
Oh, that's great. Why do entrepreneurs need to set revenue goals, and how can we plan to reach these goals?
I think setting revenue goals is a useful exercise because it gives you a target to point yourself at. I don't think that, sometimes I've seen people create revenue goals and then they create very, very complicated tools and plans for achieving those goals. I don't really believe in that myself. I think the most important thing you can do is set the goal and then you use that goal as a way of redirecting yourself periodically. So you just want to make sure that you're oriented toward that goal and that your activities are moving you closer to that goal. And I think if you're doing that, then the revenue goal has served its purpose.
And let's say we reach in the middle, maybe at the beginning of the year, we were excited, we set this goal, we are halfway there, we haven't hit the goal. What should we do?
I think you look at the activities that you're involved in, and sometimes people say, well, I'm not close to my goal, and it's, because my mindset is bad, or it's because whatever reason. Well, first of all, that goal was a guess. You made a guess. So I don't think guesses deserve too much credit, meaning you made a guess and you might have guessed wrong. So what? all you can do is say, what is my, now that I feel like I'm not on track to achieve that goal, what is my best guess as to why I'm not on track? Is it because of the way I'm marketing? Is it because of the way I'm selling? Is it because the product that I want to sell actually isn't really finding an excited group of prospects to buy it? What's going on? And we just use that feedback to redirect ourselves maybe to a different goal. Sometimes I think we get too hung up on the idea of staying committed to goals when the fact is goals were just guesses in the first place. So if you don't think you're on track to hitting your goal, and if you don't really believe you can get on track to achieving that goal, then change the goal.
Tell my audience about the magic moment, the day it suddenly all went right for you.
There wasn't a magic moment where everything suddenly all went right for me. That never happened. It's such a gradual process. I think success in business is about making small guesses, making small bets, and then making your best effort, and then seeing what happens and adjusting according to what happens. So I could never have predicted when I became self-employed for the first time, I could never have predicted that I would end up where I am now. That would have been impossible to predict. So all I could do is just sort of keep taking steps forward and trying to learn from each one of those steps and then adjusting and continuing onward. So it's for me, a very, very gradual process.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
I think both of those things are true. I think anyone can be an entrepreneur, and I think some people are more cut out for it than others. Being an entrepreneur seems to require us to be comfortable with uncertainty. I think some people do find it easier to deal with uncertainty than others, but I think everyone is capable of that. It's just a question of whether you're willing to develop that in yourself or whether you choose to develop yourself in other ways.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
I think what I've learned from business as a whole is that a lot of people start out in business in pursuit of a certain financial reward. And I work with a lot of clients who have achieved amazing financial rewards. They've achieved amazing financial results. They make millions of dollars per year. And then what they realize is what they love about their business is not the money, it's the creation, it's the people, it's the ideas and the experiments and the struggles. That's what they actually love. It's not the money. They're happy to have the money, but it's not the thing that gets them out of bed in the morning. So the biggest thing I've learned about business is that the joy of being an entrepreneur is the joy of creation and growth and development. It's not money.
How can we manage the anxiety between setting the goal and watching the numbers as we try to reach them?
You have to stop making the numbers mean so much. If you're feeling anxious when you look at numbers, it's because you're making those numbers mean something that they don't really mean. So numbers are guides. That's all they are. They're feedback mechanisms. And when we look at numbers, they tell a story, but actually they don't, I shouldn't say that. They don't tell a story. We tell a story, and we can pretty much tell any story we want. So some people will set a goal and then they'll look at that goal, and the story they'll tell themselves is, I'm off track, I'm falling behind, I'm failing. And other people will look at the same set of numbers and say, wow, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm developing, I'm progressing, I'm heading in the right direction. So the numbers, the most important thing the numbers do actually is they help you understand what's going on inside your own head, but they don't represent any particular truth or reality, because you get to assign the definition of truth and reality to the numbers however you want.
What are you still doing in the way you work that you just know you have to stop doing?
That's a great question. I'm still involving myself in tasks that are not my strength. Clients are giving me assignments sometimes that require a lot of detail and follow through, and I'm not good at those things. And so something I'm working with my team right now to do is to get me out of any set of activities that involves a lot of attention to detail or organization or follow through, because those are not my strengths. Those are my team's strengths. And I think within about the next 60 to 90 days, we will solve it 95% kind of once and for all.
What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
That money is happiness.
Isn't it?
No. No, it's definitely not.
Because they tell you if you have money, you can afford anything, can buy apparently happiness.
No, what you find out is that yes, with money you can buy almost anything. And the assumption that we have, especially in Western culture, the assumption that we have is that if I can buy anything, then I will be happy. The things I buy will make me happy. And then what we find out, and what I've learned from watching my clients who can literally buy almost anything, it's that they are not any happier than they were before. Now, they're not less happy either. So I don't believe money makes us unhappy. And I don't believe money makes us happy. But I think the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have is that money equals happiness and that money equals self-worth.
Okay. What advice would you give to those ones who are outside coming in thinking, oh, yeah, this if I make maybe 10K, 1 million or 2, I'll be happy, I will be settled. I'm talking on the raw scale now here. So what advice would you give them?
I would tell them that money does solve certain problems. As my income has grown over the years, as I've watched my clients' income grow, money does bring convenience to your life. In many cases, money can open doors to new experiences, and those experiences can bring a lot of happiness. Money can open doors to new relationships. So it's not that money has no use or no value, but I can guarantee that if someone starts down the path saying, I just know that if I make 10K a month or if I make $1 million per year, I know that then I will be happy. I will just tell them story after story of my clients who have crossed all those milestones and it didn't actually make a difference at all to their happiness. They basically started as happy people, and as they achieved those things, they continued being happy people. And if they were stressed and anxious people, after they had that money, they continued to be stressed and anxious. So the money itself didn't actually change anything emotionally.
If you could rerun the first year of your business, what would you definitely not do?
Wow, that's really a good question. What would I definitely not do if I were starting over the first year of my business? I think I would spend more time trying to create and develop relationships in my first year of business. So what I would not do is spend so much time with my nose buried in spreadsheets, which is what I did. And there was some benefit to that. I was developing my skills and developing my philosophy. But I think I would have been wise to spend more time meeting new people, developing relationships with them. And because that's really where business growth comes from, relationships.
How do you make yourself get back on track when something goes wrong?
You reorient yourself based on what you know to be true or what you believe to be true. So if something goes wrong, if a client fires me or if I have an especially bad day, I have to be able to anchor myself back to my core beliefs and plans. The belief that I have that I am doing good work in the world, I'm helping people, I'm creating something I care about. I reorient myself to those core beliefs. And then once I've done that, the optimism and the enthusiasm start to come back. So it's a great question you ask, because we all have really tough days. And so to me, it's a very important skill to say, yeah, it's okay that I had a tough day. I'm not going to forget the fact that I'm working hard. I'm creating value. I'm building relationships. I'm trying to do good work in the world. And I know that in the long run, that is going to pay off.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
My time, because I can't get it back. And to me, that's when someone gives me their time and attention, I think it's the ultimate gift. And I feel the same way when I give someone else my time and attention.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
I really believe in people. I believe in everyone. So it's very easy for me when I'm talking to an entrepreneur, advising them on their business, on their cash flow. I'm coming from a place where I have total confidence that they can succeed and that they will succeed. I know that they'll have bumps along the way. They'll have difficulties along the way, but I never lose faith that they will have all the success that they really want if they'll just keep going.
What grounds you?
My faith. I think that there's something bigger in the world than business and money and, all these other things. So my faith in God and belief in a higher power always give me perspective that helps me stay positive and optimistic about myself and other people. And it helps me never get too bogged down by momentary difficulties.
Do you have a mentor or a coach in your businesses?
I am working with a marketing coach right now. I've worked with a life coach in the past who helped me work on my own thinking, my own belief systems. I lean on my clients a lot. A lot of my clients are very successful coaches themselves. And so in the course of working with them, I have opportunities to ask them questions and get their insights.
What is the most valuable thing your mentors or clients has told you?
I don't know if I can narrow it down to one thing. Here's how I would answer that question, actually, Patience. My clients and my mentors' example is the most important thing that I get from them. It's watching them show up and do their work day in and day out for years and years, watching them set that example of consistency in effort and value creation. That is the greatest thing that I've gotten from them.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Oh, no one knows about me?
Apart from your family.
Right. I think that probably the people who interact with me a lot they may not know that I experience all of the same fear, all of the same anxiety, self-doubt that everyone experiences. I think that I come across very confident most of the time, very laid back and optimistic most of the time. And I am, as I've said before, I find it very easy to believe in people, believe in their success, believe that they are going to achieve what they want to achieve. And also I experience all the human emotions. So there are days where I feel full of fear and doubt. And I think that might surprise some of the people who interact with me on a regular basis.
What is the most important question to ask someone who has bought from you?
Who has bought from me? What do you want? I think if I can ask them what they want and really understand deeply what they want in general, but also specifically from our relationship, then I can help achieve that result. Or in some cases, I can say, oh, that's actually not what we do here. Or that's not what I do. So let me give you your money back. I think that getting total clarity on what a person actually hopes to achieve from the relationship sets the relationship up for success, even if that means successfully ending the relationship.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it and who can join.
Or the business I think we're talking about here today is called Let's Do the Books. It's a bookkeeping service for life coaches and online entrepreneurs who know that they need to have their financials organized and prepared, but don't want to do it themselves, don't want to learn to do it themselves. So when they hire us at Let's Do the Books, we take care of it all for them. We import all the transactions, we categorize those transactions, we turn them into nice, clean reports to give to the tax preparer, and then they don't have to think about it anymore. They don't have to worry about it anymore. So it's a nice little service that takes a set of tasks that I don't think very many people want to deal with and just takes care of those tasks for them.
What is your perfect clientele?
Wow, that's such a good question. My perfect clientele is a life coach or a course creator, an online course creator who sells one-to-one coaching or groups or retreats or programs or courses online. They sell those courses through the traditional payment processors like Stripe and PayPal, and they have their business set up with its own bank accounts, and they're just looking for someone to come in and maintain the financial statements, maintain the bookkeeping day to day so that they don't have to think about it.
Where can we find your business and how can we connect with you?
My business is letsdothebooks.com, and you could connect with me on Instagram at markbutler.com. That's my name, Mark Butler, and then DOTCOM, markbutler.com on Instagram.
Thank you. There will be more from Mark in a moment. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform and you are encouraged by Mark's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has tons of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneurs' guests' journey, all there to help you find a path for your own online success journey. The site offers exclusive members-only content, and you can join absolutely free and be part of this amazing online success community today. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Mark, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you are up for it.
Sure.
Thank you. Do you like to watch movies or do you like to read books?
I love to watch movies and read books. Although I will say mostly these days I do audiobooks. I don't read many physical books or Kindle books anymore. I listen to books while I go for long walks.
Tell us, what is your favorite book that has some relevance to being an entrepreneur?
My favorite book, wow, that's a good question, Patience. I find it almost impossible to pick a favorite book. I will tell you that a book I've just read that really has impacted my thinking in a big way is a book called Who, Not How by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And it's a book about how, as entrepreneurs, if we want to achieve a new, expansive future and achieve big, surprising goals, we should stop asking ourselves how we will achieve those goals, and we should start asking ourselves who can help us achieve those goals. And I will say it's really twisted my brain in a positive new way.
If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
My business was down to $100, I would probably use that to buy groceries, and then I would just go to social media, just go right back to the thing that I believe makes all business successful, which is relationship creation and nurturing and, invitations to work with me. So if I were down to $100, I don't think I would do anything with it in a business. I would spend no money on the business, and I would just spend my time building relationships.
If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your pocket every day, what would be written on it?
Relationships are the key.
What is your next chapter?
Wow, great question. My next chapter is that I'm moving more and more into coaching myself. I've spent the last 7 years as the CFO for businesses of all different success levels, financial success levels, and I've seen so many things, so many business models, so many marketing strategies, so many personalities, and I've realized that I really have something to offer people as an advisor, as a thinking partner, and as a coach. So I in the months and years to come, I will definitely be spending much more time coaching entrepreneurs than I ever have before.
Do you feel like you succeeded or like you're only on the way?
Oh, I've succeeded. I've succeeded over and over again. And the reason I say that is because I think everyone has. I think if I sit down with you, if I sit down with anyone and I just listen to you tell your story, I think I'll hear probably thousands of successes from your life. And so I would tell you, you've succeeded 1,000 times over. I've succeeded 1,000 times over. I think that all of us would be really well served to notice all of the success we're already experiencing instead of saying the success is out there in the future somewhere and I haven't found it yet.
Will you ever stop?
Never. I can't imagine ever stopping.
Even at 100?
Even at 100, this is something I talk a lot. I really appreciate you asking me that, Patience, because I'm teaching something called Money School right now with a small group of clients, and we've been talking about the concept of retirement. And and I think retirement means different things in different places in the world, but here in the United States, it seems like we mostly think that retirement is I have to accumulate this big pile of money. And then once I accumulate that pile of money, then I actually get to start this interesting new life of freedom and travel and learning and exploration. And I disagree. I think that what we're really seeking is the freedom to do the things we want to do and the freedom from those things we don't want to do. And if that's the life I'm living today, there's no reason for me to ever stop, even when I'm 100. So I love that you asked it that way. And I recognize that, 5, 10, 30, 40 years from now, I might say, I'm kind of finished with coaching or I'm finished with entrepreneurship. But today, that's very hard for me to imagine.
Thank you. Remind us how we can connect with you.
Let'sDoTheBooks.com and markbutler.com on Instagram.
Mark, it's been great to have you here to share your online success journey with us.
Thank you so much, Patience. I appreciate your thoughtful questions, and it's just very generous of you to invite me here and to have this chat with me.
Thank you. That's a wrap. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Mark.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest and want you to know there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on our website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast, and they're only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at iTunes and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share your journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out her course on clarity while you're at the website. Finding clarity is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.